We've got no, you said Utism, dad of one. Are you a
Guys,
Muslim brother?
I am, yes.
Okay. So we're just talking about hadiths, right? So we're trying to understand, do you have you ever drank anything standing up?
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I joined the live. I
Okay.
mean, you do understand there are issues in regards to drinking water standing up on the body.
Please tell me, what is
So
the issue of drinking water standing up?
it puts pressure on the joints as well while you're consuming water.
Right.
So hang on, when you're sitting down, are there any pressure on your hip joints?
Not on the hip joints, but things like the stomach,
Is that a
diaphragm.
joint?
No, it's not a joint, it's part of your body. Look, I mean, you know how you've just as easily Googled about standing water? You could Google and say, what are the problems medically drinking water standing up? And it will give you a list of the
So there's
body
a, so there,
parts
so hang
that
on.
it
So there's a
potentially
list of
affects.
reasons why you shouldn't drink water standing up, correct?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay. And Muhammad was referring to these reasons when he said don't drink water standing up.
correct.
Okay, so then man, this dude is a brilliant guy. So now we know, guys.
My God.
Everyone in the chat, please don't drink standing up because it's
Okay,
medically not good.
I'm curious, dude. Like, I'm actually genuinely curious. I'm not even trying to be funny or trying to mock or anything. I'm
Mm.
genuinely curious. What are the issues with drinking water while standing up? Mr. Muslim, can you hear me?
Digestive balance, fluid in the joints, and
Did he go? Oh, sorry. Yeah, if
digestion, it says as well.
digestion,
Digestion as well, yeah. I
how do
mean,
you know
to be
that it's
honest with you,
not?
buddy,
Hold, hold on, wait, hold on, wait.
you could go
How do
onto your
you know
Google
that it's
now.
okay,
You could
dude?
go onto Google now and type
I'm
in.
in the car. I'm in the car, dude. So I'm asking you.
I would
So,
probably just
how
wait
do,
till I got home then
no, that's why I'm
to look
asking.
at it.
You're the Muslim. I'm not. That's why I said I genuinely have a question. If this is the case, how do you know that the heartburn, I mean, how do you know that the problems with digestion couldn't just be from a case of heartburn? Or how do you know that it's drinking something and not just water? Like, for instance, there can't be anything wrong with drinking water while standing up. That's just insane, dude. How do you know that it's not what you're drinking, or how do you know that it's not due to some other underlying condition that you have?
Okay, so obviously, I mean that's just a natural thought. I mean, if you're gonna have things like I don't know back pain or migraines and stuff, obviously it's not medically related, but
So
it's
here's
trying
my
to tell
question.
you that if you consume water in that way, it adds to any issues on your body. That's all. It's
Okay,
not
so
saying.
hang on,
Oh,
hang
wait,
on.
wait, wait,
Should
wait, James.
animals should
Wait,
animals lie
James.
down and drink?
James, sorry,
Well,
sorry.
the books don't apply to animals, do they?
Mr. Muslim, I'm
They apply
sorry.
to
The reason I'm
human
calling
beings.
you that is because I can't see your name is
Autism,
Utism?
autism.
Autism,
My
like the
son's
condition?
autistic, so that's why I
Okay.
call myself autistic dad of one.
Okay. God bless your child. Like, seriously, like, all jokes aside, like, God bless your kid.
Thanks.
Okay, so if that is the case, what is the metric for how you should know how much to drink? Like, is it if you drink a liter?
No,
Is it
no,
if
no,
you
no.
drink
So if you go into the
if you just
tap
drink any
and you,
amount of water?
yeah, so you just like if you're I don't know like if you're a footballer, most football if you notice when they're drinking they'll sit down on one knee and, drink their water.
No, they don't.
They do.
No,
A
they
lot
don't,
of a
dude.
lot
I
of them
watch
will just
footy
walk around.
every single day.
But
No footballer gets on his
okay.
knees to drink.
Think about it yourself then. Do you think like,
I am
standing
thinking.
I played
standing has a
football.
physical effect on the body, right? When you're standing, your muscles
Are
are
we talking
active.
about? Are we hold on, wait a second. Are we talking about football, or are we talking about football?
We're
No,
talking
no.
Because
about
I'm
soccer,
American.
Oh
man.
no,
Not you
this
guys
is
play
sorry.
handball.
This is English football, not American football.
You guys play
Referring
handball.
to.
I mean,
You
I'm
guys
on
are
I'm on
weird,
I'm
We
on
man.
refer to
autism
as
side this
soccer
time. We
rather
play
than
we
football.
play football. You guys play handball.
Eh.
No. What I'm saying is, if you're standing, even as a human being, if you think about the logic of it, if you're standing, obviously your body, you're putting tension on your muscles and parts of your body, aren't you, when you're standing
But that's
naturally?
why I asked you, because the tension would increase if you drink a lot. This is what I'm asking.
No, no,
So
it doesn't
how
prescribe
much
how
water
much.
can you drink?
The
But
amount.
that's what
So
I'm
like,
asking.
okay, I'll explain it to you. If you're thirsty, you're going to go to the kitchen and you're going to get a glass of water. You're going to drink what's necessary for your body. So if that's a glass, you're going to sit down and have a glass of water. It
No, you're
doesn't
here's
not,
my
necessarily
dude.
you
question.
have to have 6 liters or 5 liters.
Okay,
It's just the
brother,
process of sitting
here's a
and
simple
drinking.
question. Here's a simple question. Do you sit down every time you drink water?
I will sit down every time I consume water, yes.
Okay, so when you're walking in the streets of London and you need a glass of water, a drink of water, you will find a bench and sit down to drink?
Well, if I'm walking, then I'll just go down on one knee and drink my water, yeah.
Okay, so in the middle of London, you go down on one knee and the woman standing next to you will say, I do.
Yeah, but well, if she's happy to take a bottle of water for it, then
No, but
she's
come on,
going to
man.
be
You
actually
know
low grade.
that it's not right. And I've
Wait a
actually
minute.
watched at the Kaaba.
Mm.
I've watched people walking around the Kaaba drinking water. None of them are sitting down and bowing down or kneeling down. None of them. They
Yeah,
all
but
were walking, drinking with their bottles of water because it's so hot.
right. Well,
Are
let's
they
just
all
clarify though. It's
breaking
not.
that rule at the Kaaba?
No. It's not a rule. It's something that favors you looking after your body. So if
But
you're
hang
going
on,
to
it
stand
said
up
Allah
drinking water,
forbade. He forbade drinking water while standing up, meaning that no one should stand up and drink water,
it's
correct?
favorable to sit down.
That's not,
Yes,
my brother, not
not a
favorable.
rule.
He forbade it.
Okay. Well, that's
If
just
something is
to benefit
forbidden, it's
yourself.
not allowed, correct?
Okay. So can it cause harm then?
We're not asking that now. Now we're talking about the forbade. If Allah and Muhammad forbade drinking water standing up,
Mm.
and you drink water standing up, that means that you are going against the command of Allah, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so all the millions and millions of Muslims that have, in fact, probably a billion never heard this before. So if a billion Muslims have never heard this before and they are committing this sin unknowingly, is it still a sin?
No.
But aren't you supposed to know your religion?
Correct.
Okay, so if they find out that they're walking and they're drinking and they have to find a bench or kneel down and stuff, what about those in wheelchairs? Has Allah got like a little escape route for them sitting in a wheelchair?
They're already sat down, mate. Why would they be drinking water
They've
standing
already,
up
Yeah,
from
they've,
no,
the
so they've
table?
got no option, right?
If you're in a
But those
wheelchair,
that are standing
how
in the
can you
tube,
stand and drink?
hang on a second. So those
well,
people are good, but the people standing in the tube going to wherever, and you know that the tube can get quite warm, they're going to be standing and drinking, correct? So they must just starve themselves until they get to a spot where they can sit down.
No, because anyone like when you're fasting and you forget that you're fasting and you consume some food throughout the day, which people have probably done historically, I have. That's not of breaking your fast. That's just the fact that you've
wait,
forgotten for that moment. So it's
wait,
absolved.
wait,
It's the intent behind it. It was based
wait.
on
So
your
what about
intention.
what if you're like the dude from SpongeBob where he breaks the one leg and then he breaks the other leg
Mm.
and like you can't like actually sit. Like you have to I'm not even
So
trying to be
what would he be
funny,
doing
dude.
then if he's not
He
able
would
to
be
stand?
he would be standing on crutches. He broke both his legs. So he
Yeah,
Okay.
has
but
to drink that
this
So
way.
do you
this
think at
shows
some
you
stage he'd be
again,
able to sit down?
sorry, dad, bro, dad of one second. So my whole point is, I think that this is ridiculous. But before, I've only got 15 minutes. I apologize, guys, but today is a short today. I want to know this. We're talking about silly hadiths that are funny. I find it funny, and I want you to tell me if you agree or not,
Okay.
that a dog and a donkey and a woman will annul a man's prayer, right? But pigeon poop doesn't.
Okay.
So if a pig walks in front of a man while he's praying, it means nothing because Allah is clear. It's a woman, a dog, and a donkey. And yet you guys are facing a Kaaba that is covered in pigeon poop.
Do you know if you stand in prayer and someone walks across you, you're not allowed to walk across anyone standing in prayer. It
Okay,
breaks
that's
their
not what I
prayer.
asked you. Right now, the Hadith says, the Aisha says that it's a woman, a dog, and a donkey. I'm now adding to that saying that if you face the Kaaba that's covered in pigeon poop, that doesn't break or end your prayer, but a woman walking in front of you does. Correct?
Yeah, I just saw it.
Correct.
Okay, so you are saying that a woman, a dog, and a donkey is worse than your covered Kaaba with bird poop.
Yeah, but is the poop actually on the person doing the prayer?
Is
The
the woman
individual
on the
doing the
man
poop.
praying? Hang on, is the
So
woman on the
if
man
someone was
praying?
praying and a bird went
Sorry.
past and poop don't,
What?
then their fast is their prayer is broken.
Is the bird poop on the house of Allah covered it and is dripping on the sides, running down the sides? Yes. Is
Do you know
the
how
woman
clean
on
it
the
is?
man? No.
Do you know
Is
how
she
clean the
walking in
Kaaba
front of
is?
the man? Yes.
Do
So
you
she's not
realize how
touching the man. She's not near the man. She's just passing in front of the man, correct?
that would break his fast, his
But the
prayer?
bird
Correct.
poop on the Kaaba doesn't break his fast.
It's not physically touching him. It's not walking across him.
Is the woman physically touching him?
No, but she's walking across his prayer. Poop
So,
doesn't
Oh my
walk
Lord,
across
dude.
your prayer,
Okay,
does
I
it?
want to give you an example. Let me give you an example.
You're giving
You
a
are on your
completely wrong
mat.
analogy.
Let me give you an example now. You're on your mat, which you shouldn't have because the Kaaba, Muhammad never prayed on a mat. So if you're on your mat and you're facing the Kaaba and a woman walks 5 meters in front of you, 2 meters in front of you, she's just going to the kitchen to get herself some water so she can sit down and drink. She's walking past you. Did she just annul your prayer?
Correct. If she's walked across you, then yeah.
Okay,
how do you?
beautiful.
Well,
Now,
but hold on, James. Wait, sorry. I'm sorry. How do you even know though if she walks across you? Because aren't your eyes closed?
I'll give you an example. So when you're in a mosque, when you go to pray, they ask you to sit furthest forward. People sometimes in the mosque will sit at the back, sometimes in the middle, sometimes at the front. They ask you to sit right at the front because there's minimal chance of people coming in are going to cross your path when you're praying.
okay,
That's the reason
let's
for the
just,
prayer.
I'm not really interested in that. I'm talking now in front of the Kaaba. You in Mecca, in front of the Kaaba, right? So the Kaaba is all you see in front of you.
Do you know that the sin falls on the person
Hang on,
walking
brother,
across,
1 second,
not the person
Let
doing
me
the
land
prayer?
with this question first.
Okay.
So now you know at home, if a woman walks past, your wife walks past because she's thirsty and she wants to sit down and have a drink, that will break you and annul your prayer. But a Kaaba covered in bird poop does not annul your prayer. So the bird sitting on the Kaaba does not annul your prayer.
Right. Let me clarify that for you then. When someone's walking across you, that's a physical action, correct? So someone's physically walking across
When the
you.
bird opens
The
up its butt cheeks and drops a yellow or white piece of poop, is that a physical action?
It's unless it lands on you, then your prayer
Oh my
is
It's
God,
broken.
on
bro.
your house of God.
No, on the individual doing the prayer.
Is the
This is
woman on
insane,
the
dude.
guy?
I don't, mate. You're such a knowledgeable person, and you're arguing about a point which
Okay,
doesn't
I
even
need to
make sense in
understand. Is the
itself.
woman touching physically the man? Is she
So I'm in
physically
my
touching the
house.
guy?
If my house has got bird poo outside it, and I'm praying inside my house, what relevance or comparison does that have to someone walking across me in my
Okay,
house?
so watch this now.
Doesn't
If
even
a
make any
dog,
sense.
hang on, if a dog walks in front of you, that annuls your prayer, correct?
If a what? Sorry.
A dog.
If a dog walks across me, across
Yeah,
the
when you
front
don't
of,
say across you, just say in front of you, walks it past you, in front of you. Because I'm losing you when you say across me. So it walks
you
in
do
front of
know
you,
that
it
that in,
passes by you. That annuls your prayer. Why
no,
does it annul your prayer?
you do realize that even touching a dog for a
We're not
Muslim is
touching the
not
dog, dude. We're just
right.
saying a dog is walking in front of you. What is the reason that your prayer is annulled if a dog walks in front of you?
It's crossing your path of
Well,
prayer.
James, it's because the
So
dog is a
that's it?
shaitan.
Only because it crosses your path? Not
It
because it's
crosses the
dirty
path
or
of the
something?
prayer. Correct.
It's because the
Sorry,
shaitan, James. No, remember, it's because the dog is shaitan.
It crosses the path of the prayer. That's all. So you should be in a
So watch
place.
this now. I'm trying to
I should
understand
be
you.
praying against the wall. Do you understand? There
Dude,
shouldn't be anything
listen
ahead of
carefully
me.
again. You're losing
What
me
if a
because you're not
dog walks
listening.
across the other side of the wall and you can't see the dog?
Then logically, your prayer's not broken, then is it?
But hold on, but it still walked across you.
No, it has to walk physically across you, as in cross your path directly.
It is physically across from you. If I'm praying in front of a wall and a
Right,
dog is on the other side of the wall and it
right.
walks past you, doesn't that annul your prayer? It walked in your path. It walked
No,
across
because
you.
there's a physical wall between us. He's not walking
Where does
across
it
me.
say that?
What I'm saying is,
Where are
mate,
you getting this from?
we're not in a parallel dilemma world where, the walls and everything don't exist. What I'm saying to you is, when you go into a building, that building is the building you're in, right? Anything
So
outside that building, you can't be accountable for. That doesn't even make human sense.
what are
Okay.
It's
you
like
talking
saying
about? Yes, it does.
someone in China
James, I'm
walks
trying
across
not to.
me.
I'm trying not to detract the conversation, bro. You
Bro, if
realize
someone in
that
China
if a
walks across me, is that okay? And I'm in the UK. That's the kind of
I don't know.
comparison you're
You
trying
tell
to give.
me. This is your religion. Because hold on, wait. The reason I'm asking these questions is because you're just assuming that that is the case. There's stuff prior to belief that has to be addressed. You're
Right.
assuming that it is the case. Hold on, look, bro, listen to me. You're assuming that it's the case that if there is a wall in front of you and a dog or a woman walks on the other side of the wall, that it doesn't annul the prayer. You're assuming that, but the hadith doesn't say that.
Well,
You're
okay,
just
what does the
assuming
hadith
that.
say?
It says that a woman, a dog, and James, what's the other one?
A donkey.
A donkey. If they
Right.
come across your path or if they walk in front of you or whatever, then it annuls prayer.
Okay.
Like, like
So,
if you're in a house, okay, better example. If you're in a house and you're in a room, let's say you're in your bedroom and you close the door and you're facing the door and your wife walks past the door, she's still walking across your path. The only thing that's
okay.
separating you is just like a 3-inch door.
Okay. So, by your logic, then, what you're trying to say is it's impossible to pray in this world.
For
Basically,
you, for
according to you,
Muslims, yes.
for
None
you.
according to you, because you seem to think
No,
walls
dude, this
and
is
Oh
not
my
my
God.
buildings
Okay,
and
epistemology. This
any
is yours.
we're
physical.
losing. Watch this. Let's just rewind. My whole point is this, right? Now that we've shown that it's difficult to be a Muslim and pray, but my question is this: in Islam, if a pig walks past you while you are praying, because Allah doesn't mention specifically a pig, does that also annul your prayer? Because it
Anything
says
or
clearly,
anyone
as clear as
walking
day, it
across.
says a dog, a donkey, and a woman, but it doesn't mention any other animal or anything else.
I'll give you an example then. So if I'm praying in my house, right, and you mentioned that my wife walking across, when you're praying anywhere, if you feel as a Muslim that someone is going to cross your path or you're in a location, like for example in a mosque or somewhere, and you're praying, what you're supposed to do is put a physical object just at the end of your prayer mat. That could be the form of a pillow, it could be the form of a book, it could be the form of
Oh,
a
dude, this
cardboard
is
box.
rubbish, man.
What
This
you
is like
do is you
superstitious
do
type
that
stuff, dude.
to prevent anything crossing your path of
I'm
prayer.
going to try
It's as
again.
simple as that.
I'm going to try again. If a bird flies in front of you to the Kaaba that you are facing and takes a dump on the house of Allah, because you agree that the Allah controls the birds of the sky, correct?
Correct.
And the bird is taking a dump on the Kaaba. Is bird poop dirty?
Correct.
Okay, so bird poop is dirty and your Kaaba is covered with that bird poop. But a woman, is she dirtier than the bird poop?
Of
Because
course not.
she will annul your prayer, but a Kaaba and the bird that's covered in bird poop does not annul your prayer.
No, because as a Muslim woman, Allah has given her the brain to think about what she's doing and where she's going.
Allah has the
Actually,
brain to
Bird
control the
doesn't have the
bird that
brain.
takes a dump on the Kaaba.
But
he
bird
actually
doesn't
said he
have the
gave her half
brain.
a brain.
A
He
bird
actually said
doesn't
he gave
have
her
the
half a brain.
brain to think someone's praying in front of me. They're animals. They're creatures. Do you understand? The two don't add up together, mate. If my wife, who's a Muslim,
Is the
knows I'm
when the
praying,
Kaaba is here's
it's
a
her
question. If the
fault.
Kaaba is covered in bird poop, is the Kaaba dirty?
No, it matters on what the human being himself.
If the
There's a way of
Kaaba is
praying.
covered in bird poop, is that Kaaba dirty?
If the church is covered in poo, can you still go to
You
church
don't.
or
You
not?
again. I'm asking you a question. We don't
Can you go
believe
to
that if a
church if
woman,
it's
a
covered
dog,
in
and a
poo?
Bro,
donkey walks in
bro,
front
Can
of
you
you,
we
go to
know
church
that
and pray
we
if there's
know
poo?
that, bro, this is not our standard. This is yours.
Right,
We
and
know
I'm
that
explaining
birds
it to
poop on
you.
buildings. Hold on a second, dude. According to the Bible, the church is not the building. The church
Right,
is the people. It's a building.
right.
I say building, dude. This is your
So the
standard, and
Kaaba
this
is
is
a
what we're
person, is it?
asking you. This is
okay,
insane.
let's
Is
just
the
ask the
Kaaba a
question
person
again.
or a
Let's
building?
ask you again. Sorry, autism. One second. Is the Kaaba,
Is it a
when it
person
is
or a
covered with,
building, like the church?
please just answer. Just let me know the answer to this first. Is the Kaaba, when it is covered in bird poop, is that Kaaba dirty?
The Kaaba is obviously dirty, that it's cleaned.
Okay, we know. So is the woman after she has a wash. Come on, man. So now watch.
And then
So
it's
you are saying
acceptable.
to me, hang on. You are saying to me you would rather bow down, prostrate, kiss, touch, and hug and circle a Kaaba covered in bird shit than to pray and let your wife walk past you while you're praying.
Have you ever seen the Kaaba?
Yes, I have.
Right, and have you seen how much effort and dedication is put into cleaning it?
Oh my God, dude, a woman will still shower more times than the Kaaba's clean.
Mate, they spend
You
billions.
understand that?
They spend millions on that.
Is
on
the
that
Kaaba cleaned
on
more
cleaning it.
often? Watch this. Listen to my question. Is the Kaaba cleaned more often than
James,
your
I know
wife?
you're trying to make a comparison between me
Is your
commenting on a
wife
female
cleaner than the
compared to a
Kaaba?
building. You're
Is
comparing
your
a
wife-
building to a human.
Is your wife?
How does that even compare?
Is your wife cleaner than the Kaaba?
Is my wife what, sorry?
Cleaner than the Kaaba.
In a sense of what, physical, or are you talking about on a spiritual
Physical.
level?
Is she physically cleaner than the Kaaba?
Physically, if she's not, well, of course she is, yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Now, by that, the Kaaba is covered in bird poo. It is dirtier on the outside. What about the Kaaba is purer than your wife?
What?
What about the Kaaba is purer than your wife?
How it's the house of God, isn't it? So I don't understand where you
So
take
the
this
house of
conversation.
God that is
If
covered
you don't have an
in
argument,
bird
James,
poo
just say I don't have an
is-
argument. You're
Dude,
trying
but
to make
I'm not trying to make anything. I'm
link
showing you
between a
common sense how
female
stupid
and
the
a
hadiths
building.
are. The hadith is saying that a woman is equal to a dog and a donkey, and she mustn't pass a man who's praying to a Kaaba covered in bird shit.
Let me also tell you that the two sounds that go up to the seventh heaven for Muslims are the woman's cry and the dog's yelp.
Yeah,
But
the
then you're
woman's cry
talking
is
about
because of the man.
disregarding a woman's worth. Then the woman and the dog are actually given the two of the highest most ranked
And
in
both
Islam.
of those things have been attacked by man because they're both so dirty.
No. Dogs aren't attacked. The only thing we have against animals is it's the saliva of the dog. So shouldn't be
Hang on,
touching
stop
you.
there. Is the,
You
is
can
the
actually
What of the dog?
saliva of the dog the reason why the angel couldn't enter the house of Muhammad?
Because of the barking. Angels don't like dogs.
So hang on, is it the saliva or the angels don't like barking?
Well, hold
Mate,
on a
have you ever
second,
seen the
bro.
shape of a
Hold on, bro.
look? Dogs
For that one.
dogs
Hold
were
on, bro.
originally wolves, right?
Wait,
They're
hold on
scary
a second.
creatures if you look
Angels,
at them.
hold on, dude, hold on, wait, pause. I had to come back to the live for what you just said. You said angels don't, say that again?
You guys are just so intent on this
No,
that you're not
I
even
swear,
having a logical
wallahi, bro,
conversation.
I'm serious. I'm not trying to be like funny or rude. Bro, most of this stuff, this is the first time I'm hearing it. I know that these hadith exist, but I never really understand the reasons why. But you gave a reason. You said that the angels they don't like dogs?
They don't like the barking of the dogs or their shapes, the faces of the dogs. It scares the
Dude,
angels.
do you realize that James, is that Gibrail or it's one of the angels? Bruh, his wings span like countries
600.
length. 600 wings. Dude is tall as
He
shit.
goes from the
And you're
east to the
telling me that
west.
he hates dog barking? He's afraid
Yeah,
of
but
a
are all the
dog?
angels like that? Are all the angels
Bro,
like
dude,
that?
I'm sorry, dude. This religion is a cult, bro. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to eat, but bro, you can't be
Bro, I
serious.
can
You
accept you
mean to
making a
tell
logical
me
point,
that an
but you're not.
angel that is as big as the Trump Tower is afraid of Albie's Chihuahua?
Maybe we're talking about on a spiritual level. Obviously, we're
Oh
not
my,
talking about
dogs are not
Constantine.
spiritual.
We're not
Dogs are
talking about
physical.
Constantine, right? Where
Oh
magical
my
vampires are going to fly
God,
down. We're
bro.
talking on a spiritual level.
Oh
Yeah,
mother.
Yeshua.
Okay,
This is crazy,
okay.
dude.
So watch this then. Watch this. Now we'll move. We just so we understand. Notice, my man, and Usam, I appreciate, man. Forgive me for laughing. It's just that you have to laugh.
No, you're
You can't be
entitled
angry
to,
when
mate.
you laugh.
It's your life. You're
So
entitled to do whatever you
you
want.
Yeah, I'm
have
trying not to, be offensive, but you got to understand from my
No,
perspective,
I
this
go
is
by
insane.
logic and reasoning. You guys are making comparisons like a woman walking compared to a building covered in. It doesn't even make any. How does that even meet up together?
okay. Do you guys watch this?
Like,
Do you guys run like animals to the VJJ looking thing to kiss it, touch it, and the Kaaba to hold it, to touch it, because to say I've been here, I'm here, I managed, I waited all my life, and I'm now at the Kaaba, and you facing it, you kissing it, you touching it. Yes or no?
right. So are Muslims the only one who do pilgrimage?
My man, we are talking about Islam and the Kaaba that's
I
covered
am
in
as well.
bloodshed.
I'm asking you a
Listen to me
question. Are
carefully.
Muslims the only ones who do pilgrimage?
You guys are doing everything you can to touch that Kaaba, correct?
Yeah, but are we the only ones that carry out pilgrimage? Or are there other
Please
religions that
listen
do it as
carefully.
well?
We're not asking about anybody else. You
Right.
guys are the only religion that are telling us
Mm.
that a prayer is annulled if a dog, a
Mm.
woman, and a donkey walks by. Not a pig. A pig can walk by. It means nothing.
Mm.
But the Kaaba, covered in bird poo, bird feces, is not a problem. A woman, problem. Bird poop, no problem. Do you
Okay.
see this?
James, the simplest way I can say it to you is the Kaaba is not going to walk in front of you or across you.
But the bird poo is all over the Kaaba. The birds are flying past you. The birds are shitting on that Kaaba while you are facing it.
Right.
Imagine
So
that.
if you
James,
knew,
praying
if
to
you
Allah,
knew,
you
if you
bowing
knew,
down, you look up, you see the bird shooting out a big white smoke boom, onto the Kaaba, and you're still praying to this Kaaba.
right.
Isn't that
You know what?
disrespectful?
I'm going to
Isn't
put
that
into layman's.
disrespectful?
I'm going to put into layman's terms for you then, because you
yes,
simply
please put it into
don't.
layman's terms.
Right. So when you're out on the road, right, the road is not clean, is it? So like when prayer hits you or the sound of prayer hits you, right? Same thing with Saudi, right? When you're walking, people will pull out their prayer mat and just put it on the floor and start praying there. Now, the floor itself is not clean. What matters, the most important thing, is the individual carrying out the actual prayer.
So then
When you
put the
go to
same
Kaaba,
logic,
right,
use the
the
same
Kaaba may
logic
be
for a
covered and it's
woman,
going
a
to be
dog,
cleaned.
and a donkey.
But
Hang on a
you
second.
can't. But
Hang
you
on.
can't.
Use the same logic and talk about a woman, a dog, and a donkey. If it's not something that can take away your prayer, I mean, if men are so weak and your Allah is so weak that a woman can annul a prayer, then
And a
the
dog.
fault is not the woman's. The fault is
So-
definitely not the woman's.
Right. So why do you think they mentioned a woman?
You
Oh,
tell
dude.
me.
I mean, you tell us.
Like, why do you think a woman's been mentioned? What is it about a
Dude, stop
woman
repeating the question and just
that would
tell us,
break your
bro.
prayer? I'll explain to you. Because the natural instinct of any man is to look up, correct?
Didn't we just
Especially if
talk
it's a
about this,
female.
James?
It's
What aren't you
temptation.
taught in your religion to lower your gaze?
You are correct. That's
Okay,
why it's
so then whose
temptation.
fault is it that you are looking at the woman?
The person in prayer.
So it's the man's fault, not the woman's fault, correct?
If he looks up, then it's going to be tempting him.
Whose
So what
fault
Allah
is
is
it?
saying,
Stop blaming the
Wait,
woman.
wait. So,
what
so
Allah
when
is
you walk
fault
saying
is
up,
it?
to the woman is don't walk across him.
so
Why
is
is
But
it,
that
hold
does the
so
on,
same
hard
but
thing?
to
you just
comprehend?
told us that it's the man's fault, though.
Right, so that's why it's written, it's
So then
forbidden
what
a
the hell would
woman.
it matter if a woman walks? Bro, this woman could be
Whoa,
built.
hold on.
I
He's saying
don't know what.
When
And she
someone
could
is in
walk right
prayer,
across you.
when
It's not gonna be, dude, stop, man. Stop.
when
It's
someone is
not
in
gonna
prayer,
be
you
her
don't put
fault.
temptation
If
in front of
according,
them.
yeah, you're
Simple as
sore.
that.
wait, so are they looking up at the
The,
dog and the donkey the same way they're looking at the woman?
No, of course not.
bro, the woman could be walking. Hold on, dude. The woman could
I
be
just want to
walking
ask a
across
question from
you.
the chats. Guys, let me ask a question from the chats. Which is worse? A pig, a dog, a donkey, or a woman?
If you're trying to make out, James, that we got something
I'm
against
just asking a
women
question.
in
Can you just
Islam,
answer the question?
that's
Which is
not
worse? For a Muslim, which is worse? A pig, a donkey, a dog, or a woman?
pig, obviously.
Okay. Yet the pig is not mentioned, a woman is mentioned, correct?
Right.
Okay, so a woman, a dog, and a donkey, if they walk in front of a man, equally the man will be tempted. Is that what you're saying?
You do
Because the
realize that
man will look up.
yeah, but you do realize you're talking about Muslim women, right? Not any woman.
Well,
What,
I'm hoping so.
dude?
Because listen, man, Christian women
In
wouldn't find
Islam, you're
themselves
going
in
to
this crap.
know
But
that
listen
you don't cross
carefully.
someone's prayer.
Travis asked you an important question. Why is a man who is tempted by the woman walking by also tempted by the dog and the donkey?
It's not, the dogs are unclean.
And so is the woman then.
No, the woman is
So what is the
temptation.
problem with the donkey?
Woman is
James.
temptation.
Wait, James.
And what
James,
about the pig?
Pigs are unclean. They eat their own feces.
And so,
But
but
if
they're
they-
not mentioned, right?
right, they're not mentioned.
I don't know if they're mentioned or not.
They're not.
They're
I
not.
just told you they're not.
Okay.
Hey, James, do you have a picture of that tasting, refreshing beverage called the Flash Shake? Do you got
Should I
that
tell you
picture?
something else as well? Why dogs are mentioned?
Wait, please.
Do people
please just-
keep pigs as pets?
No, dude. Well,
No.
some
Do
people
people
do.
actually do.
dogs as
Some
pets?
people do. Yeah.
Some people do actually. Yeah.
Right. So do people keep dogs as pets more than pigs?
I have 2 dogs, yes.
Right.
Oh,
So
come
you're
on,
more
man.
likely to have a dog in your house than a pig in your house, right?
Oh, yeah, Yeshua, you can't be serious. Okay, wait, James. According to chapter 98, verse 6, what does it say in the Quran?
I'm
98,
on a
6.
call,
It
bro.
says,
Just 1 second.
oh, sorry. Travis, 98, 6 says what? Do you remember?
We're the worst of all creatures, the filthiest.
Right.
That
So
verse, yeah.
if Jews and Christians are the worst of all creatures, that means that we would be worse than pigs. We'd be worse than women. We'd be worse than dogs and donkeys. Yet when a Christian walks in front of, or a Jew walks in front of a Muslim while they're praying, why does that not annul prayer?
Yeah, are we prayer blockers? Hadouken!
Anyone walking across someone praying breaks their prayer.
Except a Muslim
That's
man.
not what bro. That's not what it says, dude.
That's the rule, my friend. I don't know what context you've been reading it from, but that's the
Do
rule.
you, do you, do
You
you
don't
guys
walk
care?
across a man praying. Simple as
It's
that,
a
horrible, maybe.
very rare opportunity that we have people as smart as Dr. Oz on the panel. Can we go to the fly shake, please? When you guys get done with this?
Yeah, I think James said he had a phone call.
Okay. So, a tasty, refreshing beverage for the Muslims is a fly with or a shake with flies in it, right? Utism.
A shake with what? Sorry, flies in it.
Flies, house flies. Muhammad said if the house fly falls in your drink to dunk it because on one wing it has a disease,
Disease,
the other
and the
wing it
other
has
wing has a cure.
right. So we know that you shouldn't do this scientifically because when you agitate a fly, they start barfing and crapping everywhere. But can you explain this miracle of the cure on one wing and the disease on the other? And can you explain which wing it's on and which wing has the cure and stuff like that?
Well,
Thanks for
don't
coming up
understand.
here, by the way. This is great.
Right,
Got lots of questions for you.
Right, okay. Well, the questions you're asking, you already know the answers to anyway.
No, we
So
don't.
I know you're
Because the
looking for
Hadith
some kind
doesn't
of
tell us.
controversial topic to bring up. So it's better off if you just ask
Can
straight
you tell
out.
us about the disease that the fly transmits and
It
then
tells
the
you,
cure?
the Prophet also said not to leave the land of where there is disease, not to run.
Yeah, we're focusing on the fly shake here, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
The
Well,
tasty, refreshing beverage for the Muslims is a house fly dunked in a drink. Can you tell us about the disease that it transmits and then the cure that's found on the other wing?
Right, okay. So to put it simply, that is accountable for something landing in your drink. To say that it's a favorable drink is just shows a lack
Okay,
of.
can you tell us about the disease that the fly transmits and the cure that's found on the other wing? All right, so I like facts, right? Do you know how many diseases flies transmit?
Thousands.
I think over 66 known diseases, something like that, right? Can you tell
Only
us
66.
I think known, but that was the
You
last
speak
time I checked.
facts. Now you're saying I think.
Well, I think that was the last time I looked. So, really quick, can you tell us about the disease that's transmitted by the wing and the cure that's found on the other? So, I think what you
I
would
couldn't explain that to you. I don't have enough knowledge about that.
Okay, so you don't have a knowledge about this one.
Not that particular topic. No, not about
Okay, well,
flies.
let me help the room. So, a fly transmits over 60 wing diseases, I think.
66, you said, wasn't it?
66, I think. Yep. So, where they never go to get the cure for any of these diseases is a fly's wing. There's no disease that a fly transmits that they go to the fly itself to get the cure for. Muhammad was completely fabricating crap. So
Okay.
maybe you can help us with the finger licking, the KFC verses that Muhammad gave us. If you walk past me at B-Dubs and I've got extra saucy wings and I'm too lazy to suck my own fingers, Muhammad said that you must suck them for me. Can you tell us the science behind that?
No, so when you eat, right, before we eat, we are expected to wash our hands. When you wash your hands and sit down and eat.
Nonsense. That's not what it said.
This is
Sorry
after
to
you
jump in
eat.
there.
So are you?
Mohammed,
I
Mohammed
can't
himself.
believe
Watch
that you
this,
if you're
guys.
not
Hang on a
gonna let me
second. Listen
finish.
carefully. Listen. Mohammed came out of the toilet. Somebody said to him, he was after the toilet. They said, "You're going to eat." He went to eat. They said, "Aren't you going to wash your hands?" And he asked, "Am I about to pray?" So in other words, no, I don't need to wash my hands if I'm not going to pray. So Muhammad wiped his hands on the wall. So don't tell me that you
Oh
are
my
told
So when
to
he
God.
come
wash
out the
your
toilet,
hands.
do you
there
think
is
he
over
washed
Are
his
you
100
hands?
serious?
Okay.
Do you
You
think
Yes,
he would
sir.
serious, James?
I'm
Do you think he would
100%
have washed
serious.
his
Let me
hands?
read
James,
it for you
please pull
guys.
that
Hang on a
up. Please
second.
pull that up. Please pull it up.
Mutism, hold on just a second. And remember that the finger licking verses are after you eat, right?
Correct.
There's
Yes.
no way that
Not
this
before
is
you
true.
eat. You're not supposed to slob on my fingers before I eat. It's after I eat.
No, it's to clean your fingers after you've eaten. Correct.
Right.
Dude, oh my God, bro, you cannot be Yo, so hold on a second. So hold on. You would literally be at KFC. You would get done eat. You and your friend would get
Okay,
done
let
eating
me read the
chicken, and
hadith
you
for you
would
guys.
reach over the table and suck your friend's fingers, bro.
When you finished eating, my friend,
Mashallah.
not
Yeah,
whilst you're
hell
eating.
no, Brad. Yo, this
Oh,
cannot be.
Marlon. I
Oh,
want to go
okay,
to
James,
listen, guys. I
please
want to
read it.
go to dinner with
Guys,
Utism.
being noisy doesn't make your point
I
right.
want to go
This
to.
is-
I want to
No,
go to
this
dinner
is-
with Utism.
This is why.
and eat
This is what you do
invited
when you worry
Sabir.
about
Hold on.
someone
Hold on.
discrediting
Okay, let me-
you.
guys,
This is
guys,
why I
just to
invited
make it
Sabir to KFC.
Sorry.
Travis, just 1 second, guys. Just 1 second. I was on the phone with my wife, meaning that she's on her way home. So I've got to pretend I've been busy the whole
She's so
day.
lucky to have you, James.
And then just 1 second, brother. And
She's
then
so
I'm
lucky
going
to
to
have
end
you.
the live in 10 minutes, right? So pay attention. I'm going to read the hadith for you, the one that I just mentioned. Sahih Muslim 374a. I just found the first one. 374a. Muhammad came out of the toilet. It's called the privy, taking a dump. And he was presented with some food, and the people reminded him about ablution. Can you tell me, what is ablution? Utism, what is ablution?
I don't know, James. You may as well finish. I don't know why you're asking me. When there's a time to ask a question, you're answering, you jump in and intervene. So I don't understand how you expect to debate with someone.
Sure. Anyway, so now ablution, for those that don't know, is to wash. So they reminded him about the ablution, but he said, am I to say a prayer that I should perform ablution? In other words, if you take a dump, there's no need to wash your hands. It's only before you pray. Sahih Muslim 374a.
What
But hang on a
planet do you
second,
live
is
on,
that
James?
Sahih?
Where do you get this stuff from?
Wait,
Sahih Muslim.
How
part
do
where
you not
he-
wash your hands? You know the Muslims are one of the cleanest people on earth.
Yeah.
No
No
You're
way,
happy
dude.
to
From what
leave
you're
yours
telling
not.
me,
You're happy
from
to
what
leave
you're telling
poo on
me,
your
no way,
bum
dude. You
and
suck
clean yourself
other
with
men's
tissue.
fingers, dude. You suck. Not you, but I don't.
Can
You've
I have the
actually
big
done it
screen?
before.
You guys are
But-
happy to
Yeah.
leave dry poo on your bottom by cleaning yourself
stop
with
trying to
tissue.
deflect. You guys are kissing a Kaaba covered in poo. Just hang on a second. So I'm just showing
You're
you guys
covered in
the
poo
chapter
now.
heading. The chapter heading is it permissible
I
for
bet you're
one who
covered in
has
poo now,
broken?
right?
I'm reading something from your hadith. Please let me finish. It
Oh,
says,
we'd be covered
is
in
it
poo.
permissible
Did you use
for
tissue
one
or
who
water?
has broken his wudu to eat? And
Just
there's
you
nothing
cross it.
disliked
You
about
cross
You
it.
doing
use
so,
tissue or
and
water to clean
wudu
your
Cross
need
with it. Lick the
not be
cross.
done
Lick the cross like that when
immediately.
you lick your fingers. You look.
Don't, guys,
You
when I'm
use
reading
tissue
your
or
hadiths and
water
stuff,
to clean
guys,
yourself.
Short prick.
So-
You're 5'2".
So you walk past this guy at B Dubs, or no, actually you go out to eat with this guy at B Dubs. Muhammad said, when you get done eating, if you don't lick your fingers, have your friend lick them for you. Would you guys go to work on this dude's fingers? This is why I invited Sabir out to B Dubs, guys.
Coming from someone who's still got poo on their bottom from cleaning themselves
So
with
can you
tissue,
answer?
right?
Can you answer this question? Would you start slobbing all over this dude's fingers?
Travis, why you a cross licker for?
Okay,
Why do
here,
you lick crosses?
here.
Why do you lick?
All right. So Utism, since you were just Dr. Oz a few minutes ago, would you start sucking on this dude's fingers? You are the cleanest people on the earth, by the way. You are.
We are, 100% we are.
Yeah. So would you start licking on this guy's fingers like Muhammad said too?
Mate, you guys clean your bum with tissue and leave
Oh,
poo
no, I
on it.
asked you a specific question. Would you specifically lick on this guy's fingers when he's done?
You need to wash your ass first.
Okay, you're manifesting. Have a good one.
Yo, I am literally crying. Travis, kill me with this picture, dude. Shit, man.
oh my lord.
He was all scientific a few minutes ago, and then he manifested.
Oh my God. Yo, guys, Steven, I'm sorry, guys, for all the cuss. Yo, I'm really sorry. I gotta repent, dude. I'm sorry for all the cussing, man. This shit is funny, man. Oh my God, bro. This can't be serious. Yo, the man is literally defending sucking another man's fingers, bro. Yo.
But hang on. He asked me, where do I find the hadiths from? Sahih Muslims 374b. We were with the messenger of Allah, and he'd come out of the toilet, taken a dump. Food was presented to him. It was said to him, "Wouldn't you perform ablution?" Whereupon he said, "Why? Am I to say a prayer that I should perform ablution?" Meaning he doesn't pray before he eats, and he doesn't wash his hands after wiping his butt with his left hand. With his hand, guys. They don't have toilet paper. They were using stones, meaning he was getting some kind of nougaty, some kind of chocolate cream on his fingers and his thumbs, and then wiping it with sand because they had no water. And then they said to him, "Dude, you need to go wash those filthy, disgusting hands of yours because it's covered in crap." And he was like, "Nah, the Kaaba is also covered in crap, so we good."
Yeah, so I was citing a source from the World Health Organization that says it's at least 65 diseases that are known to flies to transmit. And there's no cure found on a fly wing. A scientist doesn't say, "Hey, this fly spread, let's say diphtheria." They don't go. Scientist does this because there's no cure on a fly's wing. So this is insane. We didn't even get to the camel urine or.
I was just getting ready to say that, dude. Look, Travis, you missed it, and I know James has to go. Travis, you missed it earlier. The dude said that if you drink water or if you drink anything standing, then that's like it's bad for you or something. So I was getting ready to ask you. I was getting ready to ask. Hold on a second. Drinking water while like, let me get this straight. Drinking water while standing up. Drink.
So there's no
Wait,
peer
Travis,
reviewed.
wait. Drinking
But hang on,
water.
must you sit underneath the camel?
Bro, hold on.
Bro, imagine
Drinking water while standing up. Drinking water while standing up is haram. But drinking piss while sitting down is good?
Yo, so
No.
imagine this. Put this in perspective. They got 20,000 Abduls on the battlefield and they're all thirsty and they they sit down to take a drink, bro. But there's no scientific peer-reviewed article that says that sitting down and drinking water is better for you. In fact, there is a little bit of science behind laying down. It might slow your gut down a little bit, but there's nothing bad about drinking water while standing up. These are old wives' tales that our grandparents spread.
Sorry, just before we continue with this, guys, I apologize, but I just want to say this. Travis, you were on when that lady was on, right? Muslima was on.
Dude, I gave her. Okay, me and her have been messaging probably about 4 or 5 days ago. She asked me for sources that support FGM, the circumcision of girls. Then to find out she came back here to justify it.
Yeah,
Bro,
it's crazy.
I feel abused, man.
So the reason you feel like the goat, but guys, please, today's live, please, today's live. If I've ever recommended a live, it's going to be today's live on YouTube, the Agents 007 on YouTube. Watch my conversation with the Muslima. Her name is Muslima. Please, guys, go and watch that live because I promise you, you will see why we warn people to stay away from Islam. She is the reason we beg you guys to stay away from Islam. She accepts that she's equal to a dog and a donkey. She accepts she's deficient. She accepts that Satan lives in her. She accepts that she's worse than the pigeon poop on the Kaaba.
Hey, James, can we, and guys, thank God the Gambia, they were voting on whether to reinforce the FGMing of little girls. They voted to uphold the ban against the circumcision of little girls because the Muslims were fighting to get it reinstated. In that article, the girl was held down and gone to work on with a rusty razor, and right after hers was done, they did her sister, and she bled out and passed away right in front of her eyes. So thank God that at least Gambia had enough sense to not follow Muhammad and Aisha here.
Another thing I want to just say quickly, for someone called Dawn Ora said, I can never debate with people with 3 shampoos. Check this out. Muhammad was covered in lice.
Yeah.
He was covered in lice and he used to go visit all his wives in one night. So if there's anybody that needed the 3-in-1 shampoo, it was PDF Mo. because it would at least got rid of some of the lice that he was covered in. That's another
Guys,
hadith, ladies and gentlemen.
guys, there's a hadith, I kid you not, that says that if you, James, what it's if you don't say inshallah before you have sex with your wife, Satan wraps himself around your penis. I forget what does it say? It says something like that, right? Where it's
Yeah,
like,
he
Yep,
enjoys your
says that.
wife with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
bro, what is this? So imagine Muhammad had at that time, some hadiths say 12, some say, I mean, some say 13, some say 11, some say 9. Let's say 13. He said, inshallah, 13 times before he had sex with each wife, or shaitan would have wrapped itself around his
Well,
penis.
don't forget what happened to Solomon. Solomon, he forgot to say inshallah, and he had a half baby.
And he had that baby.
Yeah. And he had a half a child, and Muhammad had no children. So guess what? So if any woman out there thinks about having a threesome, just tell your husband, listen, just don't say inshallah tonight.
My God, dude. Wait, then there's also the hadith about shaitan. He sleeps in the upper part of your nose. Now, here's the question. There's what, like 2.2 billion Muslims on the planet? So let's say for half the planet that's sleeping, and those are Muslims, shaitan lives in all of their noses at the same time? At the
And
same
Allah is
time?
not omnipresent.
Like, bro, like, man, guys, like, seriously, please. Like, we're trying not to be offensive, or at least I'm trying my best not to. But when you have people come up here and say, yeah, like, there's no problem with licking my best friend's finger after he gets done eating, like, bro, yo, that's when I lost it, bro. When he said that and he was trying to defend it, I lost
It's crazy.
all
But
motor
guys,
functions.
listen, I'm not going live from today till from tomorrow till Sunday. I'm going to go live again on Monday next week. I'm now going to focus on my family for the next few days. I've got my 2 books ready, and I will be reading and getting closer to God. I'm going to put some Bible verses in my brain. I'm going to read again, open up my Bible. So the reason that I'm not going to go live is because I did promise my family and my wife especially that we're going to go somewhere and we're going to spend time together without me being on these lives. Now, with that said, when my wife is out shopping, I might pop into a live, but I will not be opening my own live. But if she's away, the cat will play. But anyway, guys, please just remember to go to the Agents 007, the Agents 007. Please, I beg you, go and watch the live today on that page regarding the topic with the Muslima. I absolutely 100% recommend it. I mean, please, my brother, when you get a chance, clip that, make that into a video that we can,
Yeah.
but
I
watch it
uploaded today,
first.
actually.
Beautiful, beautiful. But if we can just clip just that part, that would be amazing. And we'll try to see
Yeah.
if we can get it on YouTube so that you guys can learn from it. Learn how not to
James,
be a Muslim.
James, while you're away taking your sabbatical, if you get a chance, read the book of Acts.
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah, so I think you'll really, I mean, I know you probably read it before, but I think you'll really enjoy it again.
I've read it. I've read it
Anyways,
before. And actually funny you said that because yesterday or the day before, I read through Hebrews because I just felt I needed to read Hebrews, and
yeah,
it made me feel so much better. Just reading the Bible is so fantastic.
James,
But I'll do Acts.
that's where Amen's favorite story is, where they're willy-nilly throwing around the name of Jesus, trying to cast out demons. And the demon said, Jesus I know, Paul I know, but who are you?
for you,
This
Acts
is like Muhammad.
19:15.
Yeah, this is like when Muhammad went in the cave to pray or whatever. This is exactly where the demon jumped on him, bro. But I think this is your favorite story, right? Amen.
Yeah, man, that's out of the whole Bible. That's, bro, it makes me laugh every time, dude. But
Yeah.
James, go ahead, man. Like, I don't want you to get flogged by your wife. We'll
Yeah.
talk when you get back, man.
No
We'll see
worries.
you.
So everyone in the
Love you,
chats,
James.
please again go to the Agents 007 on YouTube. Give Amin a follow. The Agent 77. The Amin 777 on YouTube. Give Travis a follow. On Monday we will be doing more of funny hadiths, and we'll get in. Hopefully we'll get in Scott And Scott got some, amazing ones. And we got a guy in the chat saying cross lickers, at least we're not licking a vajayjay stone covered in pigeon crap that you guys bow down to. So don't you worry about that, Abu. Travis, any last words, bro? I need to run.
No, God bless you, man. I'll keep you in my prayers, and thanks for your stages, man.
God bless you, bro.
Care, bro.
For Abu, he calls us lickers, and yet his face is in the silver vajayjay. Bird poo all over his tongue. God bless you guys. Remember, put Christ first. Humble yourselves. Remove the hate, the ego, the pride. Easter is about Christ, not Easter eggs. Easter is about Christ, the resurrection. Crucifixion, resurrection. Without the resurrection, there is no Christianity. Don't forget that, guys.